asleep. Shoo, shoo.
Phillies and gentle cold side welcome you to another edition of Pony Fanfiction Theater. I'm your host Nate. With me is Edgewood Blake 83 and John, which there would be mostly silent.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna read A Bad Night's Sleep. And it stars you, Rainbow Dash, and Twilight Sparkle. It's another second person kind of story. To read this, you must have Adobe Reader, plus you must download this PDF file to read it.
Seems like these Adobe Reader stories always have these second-person stories.
Yeah, it does. Anyways, let's begin. Crackle, blam! The thunder rolled the sky as the rain roared outside. The heavy tapping sounds spread over the roof like beads falling on a counter. Earlier, you were taking Rainbow Dash to the new carnival. You two were having a fantastic time. You two were seeing each other as an experiment, really. You weren't dating, yet. This was made obvious when people would ask, and Rainbow Dash would nervously respond, "What? This down? Nah, I'm just gracing him with my presence." She would flusterily apologize afterwards, and you didn't mind it. In a way, she was right. But it was only when you were about to ride the Ferris wheel that the rain came down, and heavy, forcing you guys into your house, but you weren't alone. "Oh, my apologies, I didn't think any pony lived here," an embarrassed Twilight responded as you opened your door. You had an annoyed face on. Sure, it was still a little vacant looking, but it was still your home. "Hey, DW, what's up?" Rainbow said as she shook off the rain, splashing you a little. You chuckled and splashed her back a little, and she giggled and bumped you lightly with her flank. You moved some of her mane out of her eyes, and she froze, as if being touched by an angel. You both gazed at each other for a while before moving in a little, just about to Twilight exclaimed. Dash quickly backed up and dropped all focus on you. She had completely forgotten Twilight was here. "Anyway, I'm on a census order here from the princess." She walked a little towards the window, holding her head a little high. "All ponies must be accounted for the princess demand." Crack, boo! Twilight immediately jumped and quickly grasped around your neck and let out a cute little eep. Guess she's not too fond of lightning. By the time you got your balance, she had already thrust herself full body onto you, her arms wrapped around your neck and mane, her soft velvet skin nuzzling against your skin, her body shaking a little, tickling you, tingling you. She was lukewarm. It gave you a fuzzy feeling. "Ah ha ha ha!" Rainbow burst out laughing while falling to the ground. Twilight pushed off of you, embarrassed as ever, and apologized. "Oh my, how rude of me. I don't know what came over me." She looked away and down from you, blushing hard. "Planning on walking home?" you said, peering outside while separating the blinders. "I'm sure she'll be fine. Thanks for visiting us, TW, but we got it from here," Dash said quickly while pushing Twilight towards the door. "Well, I don't want to be a burden," she managed to squeeze in between Rainbow Dash's rambling. Boom! Twilight jumped 15 feet in the air and put a death grip on Dash. It was the loudest, most violent thunder sound of the night. Looks like she's spending the night. Dash managed to squeeze and out while trying to talk and breathe into Twilight's arms. But those last words, pop. Ooh. As you finished lighting the candles, Dash brought last of the pillows onto the bedroom. Your home is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 1-story home. The only thing that separated the kitchen and the living room was the change of in the floor tiles as you walked from one space to another. Originally, the girls were supposed to sleep in the master bedroom, your room and the largest, while you slept in the guest room, vacant and extremely small. But Rainbow Dash came up with a half-assed reason to accompany you, saying something along the lines of, "Yeah, he's a total coward of the dark. I bet he would totally appreciate my company." Of course, Twilight wasn't going to stay in the room herself. She's not used to sleeping alone, usually with Spike in the room and all, especially if it was on a stormy night. No way, no how. "Every pony settled in?" Twilight asked. You decided to sleep on the floor. Dash and Twilight went to share the bed. "Yeah, I'm beat," Dash exclaimed. She stretched a little. You blew out the candles and the room settled quietly. You were lying on your back, arms behind your head. You were thinking about the case of the previous town you lived in. You were an ex-detective from New Colt City, New York, of course. You were pondering about a crime scene of a cart accident where a stallion was killed and a pony claimed over $5 million in insurance money. It was too convenient for her. She was in debt to the tune of $3 million to a loan bank, and convinces her husband, the victim, to take out a $5 million insurance policy on himself. 3 days before his accidental demise, it was a classic, but you needed to figure out the trick she used to get him 5 miles away from his job during a busy workday. Maybe she lured him with a note, or maybe your thought process was interrupted by a nudging on your right leg. You looked down to see Rainbow Dash staring up with you with comically worried eyes. What the hell does she want? Hey, you don't mind if I sleep with you, do you? She whispered to you. Sleeping next to Twilight is like sleeping next to a professional wrestler, she exclaimed, while playfully punching her leg. You accepted this and told her it was all right. You wanted to get back to your deduction. Dash snuggles up to you, pillow in her mouth, and settles on the right side of your body. I promise I won't be a bother, she says, as she settles and wiggles up to you a little. Good. Now that's settled, you return to the case. Yet you remembered that the steering rod of the cart was slightly altered somehow. Yeah, there were thin trenches on the wheel. Something like piano wire would make those kind of marks. What if her husband's car has been trapped to fall in a certain moment? No. That's not possible. How would she know where he was at the moment to set off the trap? She was 20 miles away when the accident happened. But wait, yes! She had said she left her cell phone at home. Yet the phone company's records show a call at 3:15 to 3:20. That was right before the collision. She did contact him, probably to confirm his location. But with what? She must have an accomplice. Someone who would benefit from his death too. Another lover. Yeah, that other pony hoop. You were again interrupted by your deduction, by a tugging at your left side. Now what? You thought. Twilight was looking a little embarrassed, staring up at you. Hey, she began, but you didn't need a story. You moved over a little and let her slide up. Thanks, you're very generous, she gleefully but quietly said to you. You rolled your eyes. Luckily, it's just dark enough for her to miss it. And went back to thinking, arms behind your head, staring at the ceiling. Now, if her other lover, and maybe, you couldn't focus. You only glanced to the left for a split second, and was instantly distracted by Twilight's sleeping face. Her cheeks looked like lovely soft marshmallows, as they ever so slightly pushed up against her pillow. Her eyes, though dozed, was just adorable. Her hair slightly fell to one side, and her breathing was steady. But the icing on the cake? Her lips. Her luscious, round, juicy lips. They were slightly parted, and had the scent of wintergreen gum. What the hell were you thinking? Okay, it's time for bed. Just as you settled to the side, facing Rainbow Dash, of course, you felt a soft, paralyzingly intoxicating touch run up your back and around your waist. The touch moved from your chest to your waist in a stroking motion. It got lower and lower and lower, closer to your pelvis when, crunch, death grip. Twilight had bear hugged from behind around your waist. She was still asleep, her chest raw and soft, hugged, no forced. Upon your back, her stomach was soft and warm up your lower back. She pulled her head closer to yours, lips right above your ears, and coolly whispered sounds, moaning and groaning in a soothingly exotic voice. She blew coolly in your ear as she spoke in her dreams, sleeping with a wrestler, more like a goddamn tiger. You were wide awake now. You tried to move her hooves, but she was a tight one. Well, it could be worse. Rainbow Dash was nudging toward you, but something was off. She was no longer facing you. Whatever she was dreaming about was backing her into a wall, backing her into you. You tried to reposition yourself, but Twilight had you beat tenfold. You had to brace for impact. Dash's legs were the first to make contact as they brushed, rubbed, and rested on yours. Oh God, they were soft like baby skin. They were warm and enticing, but before you could finish your thought, her flank had eased its way onto your pelvis. Oh no, this has put you in a bad position. Rainbow Dash, plus my pelvis, plus her flank, plus her waking up. Sad face. You were beginning to sweat now. Rainbow was whispering something, but unlike Twilight's whispering, you heard it loud and clear. He's a gentle cult. He's cool, Danny. She soothed out of her mouth. Danny, who the hell? Then you remembered. A week ago, she let you know a big secret. She never sleeps without her stuffed toy dog, Danny.
Oh, hi, Danny.
The thing was 16 years old and looked like a reject from Pet Cemetery. Calling it garbage was a compliment, yet she loved it and had it since she was a filly, and threatened your very life if the secret ever got out. Besides, if she does try anything, I'll pound the life out of him, she said, practically swinging a fisted hoof through the air. Aw, shit. You need it out of this, now. The window was open, and the sky was clear and starry, with the moon gazing throughout your window. Though it was summer, the night sky brought in a relaxing cool breeze. This made Dash cringe and back up even more, snuggling her bum right into you. Twilight was too affected by the wind, wrapping her one hoof around your leg. Jesus Christ, she was so soft, practically plushy. Danny, come here, Dash said as she reached back, grabbed your hoof, and wrapped it around her waist. Still holding it, she thought you were Danny? Pfft, yeah, if you were ripped open and smelled like shit. But that thought quickly changed when you realized that she means she cares a lot about you. You only known her for 2 months, and you were already on the same tier as Danny, who has been with her for going on 17 years. This made your heart melt. You mean so much to her, probably more than she to you. Lick. What the fuck was that? You focused enough to realize Twilight had been licking your ear. Her tongue was soft, warm, and wet. Each lick made you fuzzy and tingly at the same time. You couldn't control your body as your tail began to get erect. Your eyes rolling to the back of your head with each moist tongue stroke. How long has she been doing this? But Spike, I'm starving. Just one more lick of your ice cream and I'm done. Promise, she whispered coolly. Of all the times now you can hear her, just as you thought you were finished. Rainbow Dash began wiggling. Bad I love her flank is down in the zone, but now she's fucking wiggling it. Her flank was just as soft as her legs. It fit perfectly into the curve of your pelvis. You're going to lose it. Your breathing became erratic. Your heartbeat was going bonkers. Your head was cocked back, eyes rolling so far back. You swear you just peeked into your brain. You thought if you crunched your tail between your legs, you could prevent her from getting too stiff. Between Twilight licking your ear and Dash's flank wiggling in the zone, what more can you do? Luckily, you don't need to move it out of your. You don't need it to move your tall. You swung your iron tail around front and squeezed it between your legs. It was only then you realized. Bad move, cowboy. It came in direct contact with Dash's wiggling flank. You're fucked now. You gave up strongly and just eased and relaxed your tense body. You embraced all the soft, mushy, tantalizing body movements. You were struggling a little to hold back your tail. Oh god, I'm gonna lose it. You thought I'm gonna lose it. I can't help it anymore.
Rage face.
The sun was bright, and the skies were full of large puffy clouds. The sounds of birds and the wind blowing over the fields surrounded to the atmosphere. You were on your back, arm over your forehead, like an over-dramatic headache. Wow, I never slept so great. I feel amazing, Dash said as she sat up and stretched out. Likewise, I'm full of energy, and my muscles feel great. Twilight agreed as she gracefully yawned. I never slept so well without Danny before. Who knows, maybe you might replace him. Dash joked as she nudged you. Danny? Twilight asked, puzzled look in her face. Nothing, TW, just an inside joke, Dash said, brushing off the subject. Maybe we should plan another sleepover, Twilight said excitedly. Yeah, it'll be great, Dash said, looking directly at you. You felt like shit. Your body was sweaty and you couldn't feel your legs, and your tail was so limp. It was full of exercise just to make it budge. You pulled the covers over your head and said, "Fuck it. What a story, Mark."